So, welcome to today's stream. Everyone, sorry, ran a few minutes late. I was at the dentist before, but now I'm here, set up everything, and we're gonna play some Chopin's third sonata today. So, originally I kind of planned to do like a full concert stream like I did in November one time with the program I had, but I've learned it and practiced it for a couple of weeks, but it's very hard and difficult, so it's not quite there yet. I can't play it for a 100% concert performance. It's like I'm in the memorization phase, but it's like only half memorized, so I could maybe do it with a score, but I haven't prepared that. So I figured let's just do more of a working type of stream. So I'll play some parts and then we'll kind of talk about the music. So it's not going to be like a full practice stream because like I did another time also. It's more going to be about the music and analysis. But especially one thing, it's so many layers about playing piano, but there's one layer of which decisions should you take about the interpretation. So sometimes there are like different editions, and you can hear recordings of pianists playing it in different ways. And especially with this sonata, I felt like there are a lot of places where it's like different editions says different things and like very different things, and you can hear different things in recording. So for preparation for this stream, I picked 3 recordings great pianists that I admire, and I kind of looked at a few places, and I have compiled a list that where they do different choices. So I think it would be fun to look at that, and then kind of where I end up in the middle of this. Okay, now I got some numbers here in my system. It's 20 people already. That's a lot. Good evening from people maybe a little bit later. It's 4 o'clock here in Sweden where I sit. If there's anyone from US, it's an early stream there. Anyway, the 3 pianists are Marta Argerich, who did a live stream concert with this sonata like during the pandemic. That's got like 300,000 views on YouTube or something. And I put the links in the description to these recordings, so you can go and check them out if you want afterwards. But I will not play them in the stream. I'll just focus on everything I got here. Then the second one is Daniil Trifonov, who played this at the Chopin competition. If some year, maybe was it 2010 or 5 or something like that. I like Trifonov very much. He's an amazing pianist. Then the third one is Juliana Avdeva, who's another winner of a Chopin competition. Or did she come second or like a split winner or something a few editions ago? There's a concert, not at the competition, but another concert where she plays this. So, and I will show you the list immediately here on this. Hang on. Here. So, I've referenced this in the description. You can see all these the letters MA and DT and YA is at the top of the page. You see that's the reference to the pianists. And then I've marked a few places that I find interesting where they, you have to make a choice because maybe there are differences in the editions and they make different choices. So that would be fun to look at, and we can also look at it in this way. It's a bit chaotic, but yeah, we'll get there, and it'll probably be a 2 hour to play through the whole thing, all 4 movements. And yeah, a final thing, the editions I haven't written that clearly, but it's basically I use the one you will see here. This one is I have scanned my physical Peters edition that I had bought many years ago, and it's an editor, Herman Scholtz. I don't know anything about this. It's just that it's in my bookshelf. That's what I've used. But I started to realize that, like, yeah, some places we'll get to are different. So I scanned this one quickly to put in the iPad, and some pages are a bit wobbly because of the scanning, but I think it's fun. But I quickly looked at also a few other editions. Another Peter's edition with Mikuli as the editor, which was a pupil of Chopin. So like usually that's a pretty good edition. Then there's also the Polish national edition with Ekier. So I will say Ekier edition. That's done a solid work. And a few places they actually have different alternatives. You can see both versions in the score. So like it's obvious that it's not clear exactly what Chopin wanted. That's why it happens. There's some people are leaving, so I think I should start playing. So or maybe it's jumping a bit up. Let me do one thing first. In the chat, please, can you type 1 in chat if you know this piece before, and type 2 if you don't know this sonata before, so I get a sense of how much piano enthusiasts you are right now. Because this, like Chopin, everybody knows Chopin. Got a little mix here. That's interesting. Probably everyone knows more or less the Funeral March, which is the slow movement of the second sonata. This. I can't better, but that's from the second sonata. But the first sonata is a little bit of a later work, more complex, and so rich in stuff. Like the late Chopin, he wrote the barcarolle close to here. There's some nocturnes and waltzes and stuff, but big work, sonata, 4 movements, really big first movement, so that's probably going to take an hour. And then quick scherzo, a slow movement, which is like a nocturne, super beautiful and ambient. And then a finale, a really quick tarantella, quick dance in 6/8. So ends with a big flare. Got a suggestion of an edition, maybe check it out. I think I'm going to play the first movement until the repeat. So we'll get some music to see where we're at. And I think I've figured something out with a page turn here. If it updates, just gonna check, does it update the page turn? It should do now, right? Yes, here we go. Good to check these things, that they actually update. Okay, so a little bit of Chopin Sonata. Second subject. And then there's a repeat, which I think most people don't really do. So that's exposition. It's like almost halfway through. I'll take a break here. It feels like a performance. I got a little bit nervous in the in the start, but it's like there's some work still left to do for me. Sometimes it get in the flow a bit, and some places you realize, oh, I need to get it. It's really dense textures all the time, but really, really lovely piano writing. So there are a few things that I'm thinking about here that's interesting, where it's difference in like different editions and stuff. The first thing is the very first phrase. So there's basically like, there are two ways of playing you can hear. One is more power, and thinking like all of this is one long phrase. And this is very much like Trifonov plays it, like this. Like you have one big phrase, and then the next phrase. It's rough. And the second time, it's really natural to go forward here, because the melody goes up. But the first time, you don't actually need to do that, because the melody goes down. This one. So you can do a phrase off there, and that's more like how, let's see here, if I have this. I think this is more like how Marta does it. Here, yeah, first theme phrasing. Marta phrased, Trifonov more power. Avdeva plays everything quite more slower, like we see at the tempo, the general tempo. Juliana Avdeva has more of a maestoso. Like that the whole time. So I mean, you can have different choices already at that stage. But still, I think I wrote, she goes to the F sharp. Like that. So that's the first thing to think about. Let's go back to this. I think maybe there is some compromise that it's nice to do it a little bit more poised, phrased, but still don't fall away too much. So something like that. Like it's still a lot of nerve, but so it's not like that. But yeah. Such a lovely theme. Like I heard this at music college and I was like instantly hooked of this theme. And otherwise it's a little bit peculiar. It's very dramatic and in minor in the beginning, like it feels a bit like Beethoven. So much counterpoint throughout. But a lot of the movement is actually in major, like he modulates to the second subject is lyrical in major, but a lot of other places as well. It's very light and like angel voices, but the start is dramatic. Then it's like second phrase. Like this one, empty octave, it's like he ties the phrases together, so it's not a break, and then it goes there, but at the same time it's starting over with the next. Or maybe you can, this is another thing, you can decide how much should they be connected or how much should they be separated. It's not clear. That's pretty connected, and then yeah, except the missed note. yeah, just lovely music. The next place that's interesting comes on the second page. This amazing scale up, chromatic scale. It's just actually a chromatic scale. And this one's... it's the same, everyone, it's just different starting note. Starting on F, but then the A. And then next time starting on the G, but it's still the A. So it's identical from the A, and the last time it's the same. But it's really hard to get right because the right hand plays differently and like you come from different, yeah. But so just to refresh how it sounds. And it goes there. So the interesting and the really, the interesting thing here is it says crescendo in my score, but let's look at my research. The chromatic scale. Okay, so when they play it, it's not that different. Like they all play crescendo, like this one says. But in other versions, many other editions, it says diminuendo in the score. So like here, instead of this, it says dim, or like instead of this crescendo, it's a diminuendo. It's the complete opposite, and it's so annoying. How can there be so diametrically opposed ideas of how the music should go? But then I looked on IMSLP, and you can actually see there Chopin's own manuscript. And in the manuscript, it's clear it's a crescendo. So I would say that everything that's not a crescendo is wrong at this place. So I think it should be crescendo. The diminuendo makes less sense. And when I listen to them, I realize, okay, they all do crescendo. Although Marta Argerich does less of a crescendo. She starts a little bit higher up and it's a little bit more static. But my favorite at this place is another recording I haven't included here, but it's a pianist, Benjamin Grosvenor. He released an album a few years back with the second and third sonata, and he plays this scale the best of all, I think, because it's super delicate, really like high-end recording, and it's so soft and so much of the top. I can't really do it on this piano for a grand, but like this counterpoint, and then just a murmur. Just a sound, and so that's my ideal. Yeah, that went pretty well actually. Now that I've tried it a few times, maybe. Yeah, crescendo does make it sound more intense. Like you have to start over a bit each time, but it is very intense here in the beginning because it grows into this fanfare of a major chord. And then it starts with this really dense textures. And this is really a hard place to go here because there's a melody on top but so many notes in between, and I have found some notes that I think maybe it's not that important, that makes it much harder to play, that I maybe not play. You can see in the score. It lightens up a bit and get this, it stays on this harmony. It's like unsure of where to go. such a Chopin texture, this twirling around. And this rundown, I've laid it between both hands, and I think most people actually play it with only right hand. I didn't check this place, but I tried that for some time, but I find it was always a bit awkward, and with a left hand instead, like, I find it easier to connect it, but it's always like a trade-off. It doesn't look as coherent when you do both hands, but you can make it sound that way maybe. Then we get just to maybe I spent some more time in the exposition to present these different material and the ideas. They will return later. So here comes the second subject in D major, which is a relative to B minor. And yeah, another trick here for playing it. I found these were lifesavers for me when I realized I could actually take these in the right hand. All these, I'm gonna leave them here. Because I tried at first, like play what's written. It's such a big jump with this. You have to go up to this and jump down, and it's so hard to feel connected to the flow. Even this. So if I take them in with a thumb in the right hand, you can do that because melodies is like on the other part of the hand. So beautiful melody, this one. Like he could really come up with beautiful themes in his composition. And it's kind of simple too, like it's a deceptive simplicity. It's just, yeah, just take the major and then this. Like this is a diminished. Just, it stays on that for like 3 bars. Just the bass goes to different positions on the same diminished chord. Resolves to a D major first inversion, but it's so beautiful the way the melody is perfectly balanced when you play it, and expressive. Some unevenness here with a 5. Signature Chopin run. And then here comes kind of a transition theme from this lyrical to the closing part of the exposition. And this is again very light and not at all the heavy drama in the beginning. So there's a contrast of characters. It's also very tricky to play because you have 16th notes in the left hand. They're so uneven because it's offset by 1/16 notes that you always. The beat is on the second. Very unusual for the hand to feel it that way, but it should be, of course, be very, very soft, and then the melody should play. Nice singing tone, and this is kind of the phase where I'm at right now in the practice. I can kind of play the notes, but I need to think about the more longer phrases and get a great sound balance. And it's really hard because it's so many subtle changes on the harmony that you want to play right. Let's try this. So this place I saw in a video by Ashish Kumar. He's a YouTuber who uploads performances by other pianists, but with a score, and usually a lot of commentary and analysis in the description. So I can really recommend his channel. And sometimes there's really good insight there, and where he describes performances and different interpretation. And I checked out the video he did on this, and there was a comment in the comment section that someone says this place is what a gift to humanity. And I agree, really agree with that. It's just such a beautiful moment, the way he sets up the last line here. It's just the best of Chopin piano music. Just take the same thing, but in forte and filled out with some extra. Gets interrupted. And then another fun little texture to play like 5 things at the same time or something. So you have these little nice fragments of a melody. But then you also have 16th notes underneath in the same hand. And then left hand has a stride, slow stride in the circle of fifth. So everything at once, but so elegant when you get it right. There's also another like lifesaver I found to play this note in the left hand. You can because you have time to do it, and this one as well. And so I'm playing from this place. So you go instead of. Because it's a 9 here, kind of rough too. Like it's possible, but harder to control the elegance and the lightness of it. And there's another place, like in the recapitulation, where it's some black key, I think also. So I just do it all 4 times. This bar, it comes like as a little bit of echoes or remembrances of the initial theme, like the rhythm of it. It's this rhythm. Like you get it here, but in a very different context. It's completely different music, but the rhythm, this kind of marching on quarter notes and then a 16th dotted at the end. I think it works to make the piece cohere together. Maybe let's check if there was some other place in this first bit. This is going to be a long stream, guys. It's only halfway through the first moment almost, and half an hour. But some people here, 40 people, is really nice. Let me check if there are some, the second next issue is like the transition hang on. There's a rhythm that's different. This is like a smaller detail. So second theme transition rhythm. I think it was what we did here. Yeah, so this this question mark here is you can also hear it being played like this. So and like later in the movement it comes like that, the dotted, and I just you can see different in the different editions. I don't remember exactly, but I listened to it at this place, and so Argerich and Avdeva plays them even as they are in my score, but Trifonov plays them dotted. So it's kind of fun how it's always like different choices sometimes in Chopin. So let's that was a detail. Next one is the development tempo. This is the big one. So we're getting to the development just after this chromatic. Let's go back here, and I'm playing from the tenuto. Now we reach a kind of a closing theme, and yet again it's just a very light and positive and bright place in major. So it's funny how much of the movement is in light, bright major for being in minor sonata. Who cares about the meter? Let's just add a little ornament and the meter is suspended, because it takes much more time than you have if you follow a strict meter. But that's one of the best values of classical music is the rubato, that you can do this. They can't do that in pop music, but we can do that. Momentum here with this, the same echoes of dotted rhythms march. And this, for the closing chords, another tear jerker. D major to a G, but you stay on the F sharp in the melody, which turns into the major 7 of a G major. Okay, now we reach the development of the first movement. Also, by the way, please write in the chat if you got any questions or reflections. I love to discuss any other issues than what I have prepared. But for the development, so if I start to play from the second time bars, I've written here poco più mosso, and this is the tempo because it feels like. Well, let me play first and see how the music goes. So one bar before. This is like a fugato, so it takes the motif and presents it kind of in a fugue manner. So it has one voice below and then entry in another voice, and they start to like braid together as a musical counterpoint, like Baroque Bach style, but in a romantic context. So you can see this. Here is one entry. Oops. And then next entry is here. Same motif, but in different voices, like that, all going together. This is a bit messy now. But what I was going to with the tempo issue is that when here we reach the main motif, the main theme. Like we had in the beginning, it's he takes that motif and throws it around in the development, and it's very stormy section here, so drama again. But when you come here, you would really like to play it in the same tempo, because I played it when I just played it now before. It was slower, because when we reach this lovely closing theme, we're in a slower tempo. Like we can't keep the allegro here. If I play what feels as a nice tempo in the beginning, if I play that tempo here, I think it's that way. Like it's ridiculous to have that fast tempo. So you need to solve this somehow, and we can look at not quite yet, but when I listen, so Juliana Avdiva, she solves it by taking a more maestoso tempo to begin with, so she's not that fast. Something like that, and then you kind of can have similar tempos. That kind of works too, and then it's not much of an issue going to the development. But if you want to play it with more allegro emphasis and power, you come down here for a closing, but then you want to go up again, so you need to solve how you go up. And now we're going to bring up here, how do they solve it? How do Argerich and Trifonov solve it? So you can listen to this. It's kind of interesting. Argerich does a pretty sudden pickup of tempo. Someone asked in the chat about sending me a piano piece. Yes, you can absolutely do that. I have said that I will do a stream in the future of playing original composition. I look at them a bit and I can play several composers. So I've gotten some already, and you can please email me. You can find the email on the channel and do that, and I'll write post when I plan to do it. I will go on a ski trip next week, so it will be sometime later in February or March maybe, but that will happen, I think. Where was I with this? Yeah, so when Argerich comes here, she plays like a lot of rubato here, but from the last line, see, last line here. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like immediately in a quicker tempo. And for me, that's not my favorite solution. It feels a little bit sudden. But like the key that I think about the music here is you feel it almost on 2 in a bar, like alla breve. 2, 1, and 2, and 1. Now we're in the right tempo for the theme, so like that's I still really want to get there, as do Argerich and Trifonov. My plan was to cover all the movements, but it just takes some time. But I think 2 hours will be, so like I will go to 6 p.m. Sweden time, I think that it's much more to say about the first movement in general. So yeah. Final solution then from, which one? Here, Trifonov. Gradual increase over time. I meant to write over the entries or something. Like, he does it pretty more gradually, and Argerich does it suddenly, and Trifonov does it gradually. You can really, if you can listen and think about this. So I'm going to try to play it the way he plays it. It's something more like this. Play now for a bit the development, and then we'll see where we're at. This damn pedal, I want to change, but sometimes it goes the wrong way. Here. Now this transitional themes comes back with more to say. Dialogue. That's the recapitulation. Yeah, by the way, I do agree, this gradual increase is probably the best solution in the beginning there, but to the Fugato. I'm not going to do a full analysis. Like, I might do an analysis video on this movement on the channel in the future, but I'm not going to do it now because it's too much. But super nice dialogue. I think almost like some angel voices saying some holy word or something. It's just so sweet. More earthly element has a reaction with this scale down. And here is like the final development section. He takes this motif and kind of wraps it around in different ways again, and it's kind of weird what happens, but it's just so beautiful when you land on the. I think it's my favorite part of this movement. this major, the B major here. And this is funny. Normally in a sonata form you have like a recapitulation, you have basically the full first theme comes, returns, and because that's what the recapitulation is. But in this sonata you get these like 3 bars of a fragment of the march. Because then we're off to like the transition part going to the second theme. So Chopin really basically skips it. The whole first page, yeah, I mean all of this. Like very affirming type material. That's not in the exposition. And I read somewhere the reason is because it's so much present in the development. Like everything here, it's built on this. Well, the first here, this is the theme. And then also it comes here and like he really develops that. So it's fully developed. And then it's not more to say about it. So he mentions it by like in passing almost, and then he goes on to the other parts, which is more in major, and that's more of the body of the movement. There's one issue here with the tempo again, because we want to feel this super sweet music not in a allegro way, so we kind of calm down a bit playing that, and then we need to go back up to the march element, and we're going to look at how these 3 pianists do that, because they do that slightly different as well. Let me bring up the list. So from the transition to the recapitulation here in the last section on the first movement, Argerich does non-rubato. Yeah, Shida and also Avdeva, they both play similarly, not really rubato like I did on this place. So going from here. So one more before maybe. It's hard to. It's hard to start there. They play like this. Just let it be. Maybe they do some rubato here, but basically tempo. And then they're in the right tempo. But Trifonov does another version. He does molto rubato, more like I did, and then he does a accelerando to pick up at the theme. So something like this. I can't play this as well as he does, obviously, but and it's fun. It's a video of him playing. I have a link in the description. That they have a camera of his face here. They cut between cameras and the keyboard and the pianist, and he has here at this place he has something obsessed or in his eyes. You can see when it grows back. Really, what an artist he is and pianist. Here. Flip the wrong way again. Okay, so now at the recapitulation we get basically all material in the same order but in a different key. So this is a kind of a fun element, just these 2 beats. Maybe I'll play. the second subject in the home key of B, but B major instead of minor, flip to major, but the first time it's D major. Let me read chat here. A question about trills. Why they start on the note, sometimes on the note or sometimes above the note. Well, it's hard to answer that because I think it depends. But in earlier, well, we got an answer in chat. Maybe that explains it. No, you never start below a trill that's written unless it says clearly as an upbeat. But like in general, the earlier music, Mozart and Beethoven, you usually start above. And in romantic, you usually start on it. But it depends. Sometimes it can fit to start above, maybe. But I think usually you start on the beat of a romantic trill if it's like a prolonged trill. But yeah, I'm not prepared to give a academic answer right now, actually. This is the same melody. Some small minor variations, like some rhythms are a bit different, and I've learned them now. Basically, didn't play everything right, but it's kind of fun how they make sense as a different version of the same core melody, but slightly different. Like the ending part as well. You have this first time, if I remember. You have that one. The second time it's just more calmer version of. Like these notes, you don't need all that flurry that's so nice to have in the first time. Now it's a little bit more serious the second time. Transition element. This is really hard to learn. It counts 4 times and it's different positions all the time, but I'm starting to learn it pretty all right now. For the ending part, it's again this material that's just really nice and sweet in major. Also, by the way, this texture, amazing how Chopin writes this melody on top with suspensions. Like the melody is there, but at the same time you have this texture of 16th notes, and it's this combination of going through the texture is both an accompaniment and then it becomes the melody. It's a paradox in a way, but that's beautiful writing. pianistic writing. Ending with a basically extended cadence in B major, the B major chord. Like the 6th and the 9 has nice extensions. B major 6 on this chord, the G sharp. And the 9, yeah, just really nice notes in the scale to go up and down. That's the first movement. It took 1 hour, but it's maybe more or less half the sonata, so it's like on track. Yeah, good comment there. Listening in slow down makes you hear new things, and that's exactly what's happening when we practice. We take it, one voice at a time, and you start to. You hear how they fit together, and there's many layers in piano textures. Okay, let's move on to the second movement. So I think first movement is the one that I can play the best, and the third movement I can play, and fourth one I think I will try to play all through as well. But the scherzo is the furthest from done for me, because it's just very difficult. Let's see. Let me scroll up on this one for the second movement. Let's start with the first one, the general tempo. We have in a varying degree. Avdeva plays it not that fast, Trifonov plays it fast, and Argerich plays it really fast. Like basically, it's hard to like even feel the beat, but let me start with Avdeva. Like how I can play it basically. Well, she plays it faster maybe than that, but. So that's like the initial scherzo part. Yeah, I can almost play it in this tempo, not quite. No, you didn't see the score. Damn it! It doesn't update because I just I went around. I didn't like press the right tab in my browser. I had so sorry, you didn't see the score more than the first one, but. Yeah. But yeah, it goes like this. The texture is like the same, and some really fun offbeats. That ends up even on the triple time. But anyway, that's like, maybe that's how I will play, something like that. More control and not that extremely virtuosic. But when Trifonov and Argerich plays, it goes something like this. I can't really play that. Maybe someday we'll get there. We'll see how it feels. Like these types of tempo, like an etude, basically, really quick, difficult. I find that it needs a lot of time to be really get really deep in the muscles memory in some way that maybe after some months I could start to get up there, because all the movements will be more automatic. It's quite rough how it's written, that it's hard to learn because it's like awkward. It feels awkward for the hand, like everything. Like you need to use this part of the hand, which is not good playing. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It sounds really good, really fast, like as a fun, impressive etude. So that's something to aim for sure. But and then now I'm confusing this different on the way down. The first time is like that, but then the second time it goes like that. Anyway, I'm not going to spend that much time on this part. I know what I need to practice. Basically practicing like this and really making sure I play everything right in a tempo that I can play. That's a good tips for playing, learning, practicing stuff, I think, in general. But then we get a middle section, which is more difficult and there's some issue with. So it sounds something like this. And then we're back with a scherzo. So this is really hard to understand, I think. So many voices are tied over all the time and kind of coming in at different times. And first off, there's this line in this edition is just wrong. That's what it says. But if you look at Chopin's manuscript I did, and also other editions, it doesn't go there because it doesn't make sense musically from the start of the yellow here. No, let's do the line. Like the last note here, the E is clearly a downbeat in the phrase structure. So that line you can see I have crossed over, it's wrong. So the phrase goes more like this and then starts anew. That's in Chopin's manuscript. So that's the first thing. But still, it's kind of hard to understand where the melody wants to go because it's a bit weird with the voices. But I will keep trying to play it musically, and maybe usually after some amount of time you cannot get it. I'm not quite there yet with this piece, but so I have something to look forward to. But there is another thing here that's really interesting with different editions. Let's do take away this. Yeah. So when we come to this place, and even more next page, we can start here. These ones are tied over in my edition, and this is different in different editions. So let's bring up the sources. So middle section ties for third, the second paragraph here. So the manuscript has this inconsistent. So some editions don't have ties. So it's the first one is like this. So instead of, and it kind of makes a difference when you play it. And the second, it's some different, not a huge deal, but some. But it seemed interesting to see that in Chopin's own manuscript it's inconsistent. So the two, it's 3 times, and here the first time is on this page, and then second time they are without ties, so you're supposed to play them again, but then the third time is with ties, and then it comes later. I'm not sure exactly when it comes in the middle here, but I think so. Some other editions, looking at this manuscript and seeing that it's inconsistent, I think that they have decided so to go like one or the other way with it. So this is a problem in the chat, that it's hard to say which, if there's a version that is considered correct. And it's really good that you brought it up, because I think what's happening is Chopin writes a manuscript which is by hand, and it's really hard to read because it's very handwritten music, and then he sends it out to one or more, and I think towards the end of his life he sends it out to 3 publishers, one in France, one in Germany, and one in England, London. And they print an edition for different countries. So there are 3 first editions, and they can differ. So that we don't know what's exactly the correct one. I think that's the issue for some of Chopin, and especially late Chopin works. So it's inconsistent in the manuscript, and then you have this. I wrote down here. The first editions are different how they do, and if you look at the Peters, I wrote. No, sorry, I read the wrong part. At the top here, the first editions follow the manuscript, but then, when you have the 2 different Peters editions, Mikuli, who was a pupil of Chopin, has done a lot of editions that's pretty close to Chopin himself. He puts down no ties at all. So everything, even the third one, then he puts as you should repeat. Yeah. But then in my version, the Scholtz edition, Peter's edition, Scholtz editor, it's all ties everywhere. So I didn't realize this until recently. So I learned it with ties, and I haven't made a final decision. But it's just an example of something it's hard to say what's correct, and it's a bit annoying. But if you dig into it, it's interesting to see. Like you can maybe start to grasp why there might be different, and think about it. But still, maybe not that big a detail in the whole context. Okay, I have how they played it. I listened to how they do it, and we have Argerich and Trifonov plays with ties all the time, and Avdena plays like the manuscript says. That's different the 2 times. So really detailed analysis here on this one. I think we're actually done with the second movement now, because that was middle section, and then it's a repeat of the quick scherzo. It's funny, I kind of needed to freeze to think. I can maybe pretend that the stream freezes and think, and then continue playing. Okay, so third movement. I'm gonna just have a sip of water and read the chat. Nothing new in the chat, so we'll keep playing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change this. Like I always do this. You can remind me if I forget about it to update the text layover. Yes, third movement is goated. Agreed. And I think I'm gonna play this one through all of it. It's like 8 or 9 minutes or something. So I'll talk a bit about some places before and then I'll play it. So, and I think I will do an analysis video on this as well because it's a lot to really nice music to present. But I think of it as a kind of it's 2 layers, like if it should be an onion or if it should be a Russian doll or if it should be like a sphere. And like the first layer is this beautiful melody that starts. Major. Chopin in B major, lovely, big bass, deep bass, and the D sharp and the melody starting point. But that's a lovely tune. But then you go through this a page of this and a page and a half, and then you penetrate that and you reach the inner layer, which is an even more beautiful melody, if that's possible. And the second melody is even more personal and intimate and sensitive and just amazing. And it goes to E major, and I just play the first bars. So I start here. And it just stays still, but there's so much amazing expression in there. It's a little bit like the opposite of the famous Rachmaninoff second piano concerto, second movement. Same key, E major. So I'm like, I don't, but like Rachmaninoff goes from down and up with this repeating note, and Chopin goes the other way. It's not exactly the same, just a little bit similarity, but yeah, just lovely. And then it comes 3 times, and it's a lot of time. It just stays in one place, and you get time to reflect, which is the value of this music. And then some things happen in between in some absolutely magical bars, and like here, some mini development. I'll play these bars to get a taste, but then I will play the whole thing in this movement. So we end up on minor here. And now searching for something. Binding. And it keeps going. It's so amazing. Yeah, I agree. It's 200 years ago, and here I am sitting talking about that that composition 200 years later to people around the world. That's pretty cool. So there's a big issue here, leaving the magic for a while and going into the concrete consideration of musicianships. There's kind of a similar issue with the tempo as in the first movement, going from one tempo to start with through a calmer tempo. In this movement, if we just look at these two, it's clearly two ideas, two melodies and sections. The first one, you kind of want to feel it. Clearly in 4. Like somewhere around there. But if we try to play that tempo on these 8th notes, this tempo, it's really slow. Like, maybe some of you are going to say it should be really slow and you can get away with it, but it's a little bit too slow. And I think really most pianists plays it. And the trick here is, again, you feel it in alla breve. If you think about it, it's 2 beats in a bar instead of 4 beats in a bar, and you feel the pulse on 2. It makes much more sense in music. It gets much more flowing. It's hard to stop playing when I started. But then we need to find a solution of how do we go from the first to the second. And I still haven't landed 100% how I want to do it, but it's probably like a little bit similar to how these 3 pianists do it. So we're going to look at Argerich and Trifonov and Avdeva again. And I prepared, I listened to them earlier today to see how they do it. And before I bring that up, I'm going to say the music before here. Something happens here where I've drawn a big line, because the melody ends. And if the pulse goes, we're on 4. It goes pretty slow here. That's pretty much the same pulse. And a lot of pianists, I think, not all, but a lot, picks up the tempo here a bit. And because this music is a bit more natural to feel in alla breve, I think, is why most people do that. So if you instead already here, we can almost feel from the line. It's much easier to connect the notes in that way, but it's still a problem to do. How do you connect the tempos in that way? So now we're going to look, how do they solve that problem? So 3rd movement. Okay, the main tempo to start with, yeah. If we start with Juliana Avdeva, she has a solution, one type of solution, that the main tempo is I've written andante-ish, so much quicker than a largo. So she plays it like. So it's a little bit different, but that means she doesn't really have a problem when she gets here. She can continue in the same tempo. And it will be all right. You don't see that now because I'm there. And then when she gets to the middle part here, what have I written? Yeah, transition to middle tempo. It's like to down on the document. Transition to middle tempo. They were steady on long notes, pick up triplets to alla breve. So when the triplets come here, yeah, this line, she picks up it and still ends up on an alla breve that's a different tempo. And you take a lot of time here anyways. Something like that, maybe. And then you're in the new tempo. But then now let's look at Argerish. The main tempo is, well, there's an intro that she does really largo, and then a little bit more spirito in the theme, but then in the transition, sudden change to alla breve on long notes. So yeah, this is how Argerish does it, is something like this. If I play the low line here, the bottom line. But the thing, I think you can kind of get away with it because you go to a slower pulse, but it's a slower pulse on a half note. So like the pulse is on 2 in a bar instead of 4, but the note values are almost double that, or like 150% or something. But it doesn't sound like it's speeding up because the pulse goes down, but the note values are. It's really confusing place, I think. But then let's look at Trifonov. How have I written about him? Really largo, yeah. So he does very differently. His main tempo is very largo, very slow. On 4. Like that. And then I've written pick up on long notes. Yeah, same as Avdeva, actually. No. A little bit of pickup on the long notes, and then pick up again on triplets. So like a little bit faster there too, but not as much as Argerish. Yeah, that's another deep dive into this. While we're here, let's check this in between here. Bar 7, 8th notes I've written. I don't remember this even. What's bar 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, it's this one. Of course, I remember now. So in my score here, if you look closely, you can see that the dot and the extra line is what I have written. Yeah, I don't know what Rafal does. Is it Blasevich or something? Another great pianist. Can you go and look at that and report back? Would be amazing. But this dot rhythm is, I have written it because that's what I realized that was more correct. But still, it's a little bit controversial because in the Chopin manuscripts it's dotted. That's why I changed it. But the first editions are different, and in both of the Peters edition they're written as even. So even would be. And dotted is. Yeah, there's 2 different versions. And if you listen to the pianists, Argerish plays an even, Trifonov and Avdeva dotted. So different choices. Okay, is there? Right, I'd written down the middle tempo as well. Yeah, very, very different. Actually, very different middle tempo. That's right. Why I wrote it. Argerish plays it very slowly. So this part in E major, the key change. but still not as slow as the main tempo in 4, I think. But yeah, and then Trifonov has a medium, which I think I think a lot of these issues I kind of side with the Trifonov interpretation. It's becoming apparent to me now. And then Avdeva, quite a different conception. She plays it quite fast. Damn, I need to do this again. So, like this. Yeah, so you can choose different tempo. So I think that's what I had thought about this movement. There's a beautiful nocturne-like part in the beginning, and then you get this transition and stillness and reflection with a trickling piano notes and searching, and then it goes back, and it's like, after all been reflected on, you still need to go out to the outer layer before you reach the outside world again. In another, it's just an amazing the architectural structure of it. So there you get to repeat with a different bass. Yeah, like that. And run here at the end of the line. Yeah, beautiful Chopin. And then some kind of closing repeat of the triplets again in the low register. This place, like he wasn't satisfied with like an upbeat or two. No, Chopin, he wanted this many upbeats. So I played this and worked with a couple of colleagues, pianist colleagues of mine. The other weekend we worked through the whole sonatas. Like, I'm not a student anymore, so I don't have a teacher at the education and academy. But I do try to play stuff for colleagues instead, and we work a bit like teachers for each other. It's a very good way to play in that way as a group lesson, but very much collegial level and respect and stuff. But so one of them, Victor and Bernard and Gustav. Victor said, it's like if you have a song and it says "Colla parte," it means you should listen to the soloist. And it's so good to write in. That's how you need to think about this type of plays. You need to the accompaniment needs to wait for the soloist, like I did just now, I think. Yeah, it's a bit tough on piano with the repeated. Yeah, so you can't play tempo there. Okay, so I'm gonna go from the top. Okay, we got a report about Bleszczak, or some Polish name. Played dotted at bar 7 in the competition. Right, well, that's the rhythm is a minor issue. That's what you wondered about, maybe. I was thinking how it does with the tempo, but it's harder to say even when you listen. Like, usually, whatever they do, these great pianists, it sounds pretty natural. So it's hard to find fault with anything, but it might be different still. Okay, I'm gonna try maybe remove this. No, maybe we can let the highlights stay if they're not. Yeah, I'm letting the highlights stay, and I'm gonna play the whole movement without talking. Is my goal, because I think I've said everything I wanted to now. By the way, really fun. It's like 50 people here. It's been for an hour and a half. Well, it's like I can see it's 600 people that's come and go. So it's always a bit of an open hours in the streams. But you can always come back and watch it afterwards if you don't have time right now. Is my what I think, how I think about them. It's like a mini lecture that okay. Third movement. One final thing I need to say, it's connected to the scherzo very much. The scherzo ends like this. And now this is what makes sense of the intro that starts like this. Like really dramatic, but it needs to take that energy and make a transition to prepare the sensible theme. Slow movement theme. This one I will remove now. Okay, so, and here we go. Yeah, that's a movement. Oh, you're still here. I just played for like 10 minutes or so, but it's a piano stream, so obviously. Thanks for some applause. It's a little bit weird playing in your apartment. There's 40 people here listening, but I can't see them as you're used to playing. But yeah, just beautiful music, really, and pretty nice to play on a upright. It's quite forgiving, easy to play soft on my upright here. When I practice on my grand piano, it's harder to get it the soft dynamic well, but here it starts to feel good. Okay, going to the final movement, very different expression, very quick and high energy. So yeah, sonata with different movement is a collection of different types of expression. It's meant to have many different ingredients. Like if you eat a 3-course meal, you have different courses. It's not the same. So last course is a fast-paced tarantella. I think you can say, it doesn't say in the score, but it's a quick dance in 6/8. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. Let's play okay, start with the theme. It's from Agitato. Goes like that. So back in B minor, but yeah, there's an intro, and I think I will try to play this through as well. I'm not sure I can do it without stopping, maybe, but it will still be fun to do because I know it pretty well. And yeah, let's see if there was something I thought about here. It wasn't much. It was just, let's see, the tempo in general. Yeah, they have pretty similar tempo. It's a more narrow range of freedom, because the music pretty much says what you can do, because you will get 16th notes later on. Hang on here. You will get these type of things later on. But just if anyone's playing this or thinking about it, it's a very advanced piece, of course. I'm jumping a bit. Let's stick with this. What did I write about? Yeah, okay. First theme, rests pedaling. It was one thing I thought about, and also I mentioned Benjamin Grosvenor because I listened to when he played it. I don't think he's on YouTube. He's on Spotify. Released an album with us a few years ago. But he plays this really, he lifts the pedal. So I'm talking about in the theme. Theme starts here. And then after a while, you get these texture. How much should you lift the pedal here? Or should you do it at all or not? So he plays it like really a bit dry but really elegant. So when you come here from the yellow, like with the rest like that, because otherwise you have long slurs and you have with pedal like that. But then I listened to the other one and they do it a bit differently. Trifonov DT plays it full with pedal. That's the outlier bit. He doesn't care about the rest here. He plays like you march on there, which is some of my pianist colleagues prefer that one too, not too much of the rest. And then both Algorich and Avdeva has kind of a middle ground of some separation, but not as short as Gross-Werner. I can't really play it now, but that was one thing I was thinking about this piece. Otherwise, it's not really much to think about. There's not many issues. The music is very, very clear what it means and how you should play it, basically. Yes, I will do an analysis videos. Someone asking in the chat. I haven't planned to do it on 100% on a date, but since I've learned it so much, I think I will do like definitely movement 1 and 3 in some way. I will see how it goes, but before the summer I will do it, is what I'm thinking right now. Presto. By the way, good time to announce, I did release an analysis videos yesterday by Debussy's Nocturne, because it's been months and months where I haven't released a video because I've done other things, and then I started to set up these live streams. But I recorded it in December. I finally had time to edit it because I like switched my computer, so I need to find my presets and routines for it. And also I did a music video that I published on my artist channel, and I wanted to have the music video ready so you can watch that one too. And there's one thing about the music video too that I'm happy with. I took a GoPro camera, which I used to have filming the keys from upside. So I moved everything to my apartment, and I haven't installed that hanging device, so I don't have that angle. So the analysis videos is without that, but it still works. But instead of that, I took the GoPro and I put it on a strap on my chest, so you have the POV from the film. You see my hands like from my point of view. So it's a really cool video, I think. My plan is now to record this sonata with that camera. So that's coming up in the future, hopefully. But yeah, so that's general channel update. And now I will attempt to play through the last movement of Chopin's Third Sonata in whatever form it is today. It went pretty well when I tried it before stream, but that's never a guarantee for anything. So yeah. Is this working? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, sorry about it's a stupid pedal. I press and I'm free with my legs and I press and then it's wrong and it goes the wrong way. I have to stop. But yeah, it's getting there. Like it's really good for me to practice to play it through. Like you feel in the hand, even if the piano is very light mechanic, it's straining for the hand. Like you need stamina to play. It's relentless. It never stops. But it's just so much fun to play it. Harder when you get a little bit nervous doing it in front of people. Even if I don't see you, it's I know there's people listening, but I think it's a really fun way to do it. Anyways, like the point of having a stream and talk about the music in this way. That a lot of it is inspired by this session that I had with the other pianist just last weekend. Shout out to Victor and Bernard and Gustav. I played this for them and we talked about it and different interpretative choices, and so it's not quite concert ready yet, but I think in February, March I will be ready to do a recording. I haven't any concerts booked with it now, but maybe later in the year we'll see. But yeah, so we didn't talk much about the music itself, but it's I thought about it when I was playing. It's in rondo form, so the themes comes back and then it's a different section. But yeah, I hope that was apparent from the music. It's different material, really cool movement by Chopin. I think it's a bit similar to that when he wrote. He has 4 scherzo. That's individual pieces, and this feels a bit like one of those. Like it's a heavy movement, but a lot of fun. And that's all I had for today. Look at that, 2 hours on the dot that it took to work through Chopin's 3rd sonata. So thanks all for tuning in, and check out the latest analysis video on Debussy's Nocturne and the music video you can find on the link there. And if you wonder about anything I talked about, different editions and recording, I have links in the description to this live stream where what that was about, all the different versions you can do this. And I'm really looking forward now. Next week will not be a stream because I will be on a ski trip 1 week with my family. Our dad has a big birthday and he has invited me and my 2 siblings and some partners to come for a week in Norway, Norwegian ski slopes. So I will be skiing. It was a long time ago. I'm really looking forward. So it will be 1 week off piano and off work and everything. But after that, I will return and try to do this on Thursdays. And I think that I will set up some streams maybe as planned. But I'm thinking about, I will do one more request where I actually prepare a little bit about pieces. So I did a request stream where I just read Avista and I felt a bit bad because it didn't really make the music justice. But if I prepare a little bit, it will be a little better, I think. Prokofiev sonatas, someone asking, I played the finale of the 7th sonata as an audition program really long time ago when I was young, but I haven't done much before. And yes, you can definitely watch this stream afterwards. A lot of people do actually. I leave them up so you can always check past live streams. Unless there's some catastrophe, I remove it. But it's no risk for that. I think I'm happy with this. How they end up, like you're watching it on your own risk when it's live. I might play wrong sometimes. It's that's how it is. So next week no live stream, but after that I will do request stream. I will also do one stream where I do play original composition. So if you're a composer, if you know something, well, for the composers, I know there are some watching, you can send in a piece and you want me to, that's for piano and relatively manageable to play, and I can prepare it, look at it a bit and play it on the stream and talk a bit about it. It would be fun, I think, to do a bunch of original compositions Then I have some other ideas. We'll see. Yes, I have another program that I will do a real concert stream and more playing and less talking with some film music that I will be playing in March. So that's coming up. This time I plan to do a real concert stream with the Chopin, but it wasn't. I didn't get it ready these weeks in January. But anyways, thanks a lot for being here. That's today's stream. Have a great evening and a great weekend, everybody. Bye bye.